Okay, ready? Let's talk hashtag Operation Growth, okay? What is Operation Growth? Operation Growth is a focused, condensed, I'm going to say the word aggressive, and I mean aggressive as an approach, not towards other people, but like focused set of massive action towards growing your team. That's what it is, okay? It's a series of challenges that are being posted on the team page, and I'm trying to keep to like one a day, but some of the challenges might take longer than a day for you to realistically get it done to a good quality, so we're going to let that out there. But I encourage everybody to follow along with these. Why? Why Operation Growth? Why hashtag Operation Growth? Here's why. Because when you focus on something with intent and with passion and with an aggressive action, okay, not aggressive towards people, aggressive towards your goal, you are more willing to succeed at it, okay? Why else Operation Growth? Because there are amazing things going on in this company right now, and the only way to increase your paycheck, the only way to hit your goals, the only way to grow your team is by focusing at certain periods of your career on a batch of recruiting. Eric Worre is the system that I've been studying, that I will be following, that I have actually throughout my entire network marketing career, but I really truly believe in everything he says. He has done a lot of studies of people that are successful in network marketing, and he has found that those that recruit a large number of people in a short amount of time have more successful teams because they have this batch of people starting together. There's all kinds of excitement. You're training everyone together, and more importantly, success loves speed, and you guys know that that is true, right? Success loves speed, okay? I cannot stress that enough. When you hit the ground running, it doesn't mean you have to have success right off the bat. You can start today. Start today and decide that you're going to sprint, you're going to run. You are going to do whatever it takes to build your team larger this month. Or if you're looking back a month from now and you're watching Operation Growth, whenever your start date is, that is the decision you need to make. Okay, so it's kind of a numbers game. So let's think about it, right? How am I going to recruit a bunch of, or sponsor a bunch of people onto my team in a short amount of time? I got to work the numbers. I got to talk to a lot of people, okay? And the way that Eric kind of broke it down was really, it really like hit home for me because I am a numbers person. But you're going to want to talk. Like if you're going for the aggressive, like 20 people in 30 days, you're going to talk to about 300 people in that short amount of time. And that's a lot. And so if that's not realistic for you, that's okay. Cut it in half. Still, recruiting 10 people in a 30-day time span, I know tons of ladies on this team that can speak to this, does amazing things for your business. Guys, if you are struggling at all in your business, if you're saying, oh my gosh, we hit a promotion last month, but it was so hard and I didn't sleep and I can't imagine maintaining that, then you know what the answer is? You need to sponsor. You need to aggressively sponsor. Again, not aggressive to the people, aggressive to your goals. I need to think of a better word for that because I feel like I'm telling people to be aggressive and I'm not. Be aggressive to your goal. You need to actively sponsor. You need to actively work on growing your team, and you need to have your team duplicate that. Okay? If you're sitting there and you can't hit your goals, guess what? You need to actively sponsor. Bringing people onto your team not only expands your team, but if you think about it, you could sell $1,000 a month by yourself, but what if you had 100 people on your team that sold $100 a month? Think about that. Think about the results that you're going to get, both, and not just a paycheck, guys, but also from a rewarding perspective, helping other people reach their goals, okay? So if you're not where you want to be and you're not growing at the speed you need to grow and you're not hitting the goals you want to hit, you need to think about sponsoring. You need to think about actively and aggressively sponsoring. Again, not aggressive towards the people. Okay, so I'm cracking myself up here. Okay, so we talked about that. That sounds intimidating, right? But if you're serious about this and you're hungry for this, you're going to go for that intimidating goal. You're going to step outside of your comfort zone. And when you do, that's when you're going to see the massive results. Okay? You make a plan. You put the plan into action, massive action. You put everything out in the universe, and then you accept everything that's coming your way. And I'm telling you, that's what I've done. And when I stopped doing that, I got into a rut. The book is not well, he has a book called GoPro, but it's actually, he has a Recruit 20 and 30. It's like a program that you download. But guys, if you're watching this and you're in the team page, all that information is being posted in the team page. And then, yeah, another reason why you should do Operation Growth is because you will have this condensed number of people joining in a short amount of time. And it's going to create a sisterhood and an atmosphere and a pumped up vibe on your team that's only going to compound and grow and move the whole team forward together. Okay? All right, so let's jump into like some of the notes that I took and what I think were the best beneficial takeaways and how to kind of apply those to like the social media based approach that we have. Okay? So, let's see. Okay, so you need to assume that you're going to have success, and you need to set boundaries with the people in your life that, hey, I'm going to be focused on this month. I might need an extra hour to myself every day or whatever amount of time, but I can tell you guys realistically, the longer you're working on your business, the harder you're working on the business, the more results you're going to see. So if you decide for yourself that it's worth that extra push in your business, if it's worth that extra success to make a little bit of a sacrifice this month or for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, then it's worth it, okay? But you have to commit to it, okay? And you have to have those conversations with your spouse, with your friends. Hey guys, I love you, but I'm not going to be at dinner at all this month. Or I'm not going to be at girls' night this month. I've just got a couple things to take care of. I'll be back in the game in a couple of weeks. Don't worry, you know, it's worth it, okay? So, think about it this way. This is our goal, okay? When you are doing Operation Growth, your goal is to educate as many people as possible about the opportunity that we have. You have to have this mindset before you can do that education. So I guess technically step -1 is putting that mindset up here. Because if you don't have that mindset that this is a gift, that this is an amazing thing for someone else to have in their life, then you're not going to be as successful sponsoring as somebody that truly has the mindset that this is an amazing thing. This is a gift to be given to someone. And when you have that mindset, it comes out. It radiates the passion. It's there. It's the energy, and it's exciting, and you get results. So first, have your mindset there. Second, know that your goal is to educate as many people as possible about the opportunity. Okay, so you're going to want to start by making your list. Your list, my list, is over 300 because I am dead serious about taking my business to the next level. Okay, I know that it's going to take some sacrifice and hard work and sweat, and I know it's going to be a lot of stepping outside of my comfort zone, but I'm dedicated. So my list is over 300. Make yours 100. Make yours 150, okay? But challenge yourself, okay? Use the memory jogger that I put out there for you guys. Think of people in your different markets and put work into your list, okay? That task was already posted in the group, so you already should have done that, but it's not too late to catch up. Make sure that you emotionally tie yourself to your goal, and make sure that while you're doing this, you're still growing your network, okay? You always want to be adding more and more people to your network. How do you do that? Well, you can join clubs, local organizations, take on a hobby, just get out there. Talk to the baseball moms at your kids' baseball practice, join network marketing groups in your local community. Think about people that you know that are long distance, okay? Now, once you have your list, you're going to have 3 different types of people on your list. The first set of people on your list are your hot market. The second set of people on your list are your warm market. So what's the difference between that? Your hot market are the people that if your car breaks down in the middle of the road and they're 2 hours away, they will drive to get you. Your family, your best friends, okay? So that's your hot market. Your warm market, you're friendly with them, but you're not like super close. So it's like maybe people that you played sports with, or people that you people that you went to school with, or people that maybe you haven't talked to in a couple years, but they know who you are. They've met you in person, okay? We'll call that your warm market. And then you have a cold market. Your cold market, you don't really know these people that well. Maybe they're people that you've only recently friended, recently met one time and added to your social media accounts. Maybe they're friends of friends, okay? Know that depending on which market you're talking to, you're going to have a different approach, okay? So keep that in mind. And we'll talk about that in a second, but make sure you get that list ready. And what I did with my list, and I posted this in the group for you guys, is I made like a little spreadsheet, and I even had a column on it that says like cold, warm, hot. And then that way I know when I'm talking to this person, it's a little easier to kind of sit down and focus, because I know I can like filter it, and I can get my hot market mindset, right? And I can talk to all my hot market people and then move on, okay? So how are we going? There's kind of like two things we're going to do here, okay? If you have people that live in your area, I strongly encourage you to try. I know it's hard, guys. I know we're in our little bubble of comfort, but if we break out of that, we're not going to die. We're not going to die. Lightning's not going to come down from the sky and strike us dead, okay? No, okay? We're going to be a little uncomfortable. We might shake a little. We might stumble over words. But you know what's going to happen? We're going to grow. We're going to grow. We're going to grow. Our team's going to grow. And not just in numbers, like in value, like to each other. And your paycheck's going to grow, okay? So think about that. If you can break out of that bubble, is it worth that paycheck growing, okay? The comfort bubble, okay? Break out of the comfort bubble, okay? Okay. So here's the thing. Yes, so I'm going to get to that, Jen. Jen had a good point that the hot market you might think will be helpful. They're not always helpful, okay? So we'll talk about that. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to, if you can, meet with these people in person. So step one is really inviting people to get on your, we'll call it schedule, right? The way Eric breaks it down, he says invite people to appointments, okay? We work a little differently. I still want to encourage you guys. I do 99% of my business, or 95 to 99% of my business online. And I still encourage you guys to work your business into your life. But if you can at all afford to set up like one Saturday this month and have like back-to-back coffee dates, you'll be jacked on coffee, maybe get some decaf. But sometimes I crack myself up. It's awful. Okay, but if you can get in person to person with these people to give your presentation, which presentation sounds very intimidating. All it is telling your story, okay? So we're going to talk about two different things right now, inviting and presenting, okay? Sometimes you cannot get in person with someone. So how about this? How about this novel idea? Why don't you schedule a video Facebook Messenger call with them? So when I say invite these people, schedule a Facebook video messenger call, and then you're going to get face-to-face like this, except you're going to see them too, and they're going to see your passion and your excitement, okay? It's so much more effective, okay? You can sit there and turn your wheels and send out spammy messages all day long and not set up like face-to-face appointments even through video. You're not going to have as much success as if you set up face-to-face appointments. It's a little bit more hard work. It's a little bit more outside of the bubble, but guys, it's worth it. Okay, so how are we going to talk? How are we going to phrase our conversations? How are we going to approach the different markets? So we're going to talk about that, and then I'm going to talk about what the presentation should really look like, and then we'll talk about objectives, and then we'll answer questions, okay? So your hot market, Jen nailed it on the head. They don't owe you anything, so you have to be respectful. They don't have to help you, and a lot of times they might not. But the way you're going to want to approach your hot market, and keep in mind again, guys, what is our goal? What is our goal? Educating as many people as possible about this opportunity, okay? So when you reach out to your hot market, you're going to want to ask them for a little bit of time to give you a review about something that you put together for your business. And what is that something that you put together for your business? It's your presentation, okay? So when they say, sure, I'll take a look, you say, okay, here it is, let me know what you think. And you send them your presentation. They watch the presentation to help you, to give you a review, but now they're educated. Get it? Get it? Okay, another way that you can approach them is say, can I practice my little pitch on you before I go meet with a bunch of people, right? And they're going to say, sure. And so you get on video messenger with them and you tell them your little presentation thing, which again, don't get overwhelmed with the word presentation. I promise it's not that scary. Okay. But basically make sure with your hot market that you're being appreciative, okay? And you're opening up all these conversations, you're opening up all these doors. These people are now going to be watching you, okay? So this is really exciting. Okay, your warm market. There's 3 different approaches to your warm market, okay? So there's, and I have to read my notes on this because I'm still learning with you guys. I'm still learning. Okay, so your warm market, there's a direct approach, an indirect approach, and a super indirect approach. So the first one is your direct approach. So maybe, you know, this is going to be somebody that like respects you, that you know that you have a little bit more of like a trust relationship with. So maybe you take a second and you think about a conversation you had with that person recently and how the business would help them get to what they said. For example, did they say they want a new car? Well, you just reach out to them and be like, hey, listen. Oh, and by the way, every time you talk to someone, make sure they know you're not trying to drag this out, long conversation. And the end goal is to get on like video messenger with them or on a phone call with them or in person with them, okay? It's up to you, but that's the goal, for you to tell your story, okay? But how are you going to approach getting to that? Well, maybe you say to them, hey, listen, I'm actually running to put my kids to bed, but before I forget about it, you just told me the other day, you were just telling me the other day that you want a new car, and so I actually have something that I think would really, really help you get to that goal. And then, you know, another idea is, you know, you say to people, when I thought about who could make money with this opportunity, I thought of you, okay? Is this something you want to talk about? Because if so, let me know. I'll be back soon and we can schedule some time to talk. You know, like very quick, very simple, and then they know they're not stuck in this long conversation with you. You're just offering this out for them, and they're gonna you're gonna work towards setting that up. Now, huge tip of advice for all of these conversations we're gonna have: use voice messenger as much as you can. Smile while you're talking, giggle a little bit, but use your voice messenger, okay? And make sure that that you're exuding passion for this gift. So make sure your mindset's there. All right. Then also, oh, another little tip on Facebook Messenger is you can actually forward messages. I truly, like, I'm okay with that if you're talking to someone about kudos, but I think for this situation, you should probably send an individual voice message to each person. It's more real, and it just seems like it's going to connect you more with it, okay? So the second approach for your warm market is indirect. Maybe you go to someone and you ask them, kind of like you did your hot market, like, hey, I respect you, and I'd love to know your advice, or I'd love to have some of your wisdom on this. Can I send something to you? And you tell me what you think. And then you're educating them, right? You're educating them. Maybe, another, with your warm market, another direct approach, I'm kind of stepping back a second, is just that question that we talked about today with Operation Growth, which is, hey, have you ever thought about being a presenter with me? Straightforward, right? Okay. Super indirect. So this is something where, okay, maybe you have a warm market, but you know someone that's like top dog in Jamberry or It Works or something like that, and you're friends with them. You're going to reach out to them and you're going to say, listen, hey, I know this isn't for you. However, you're very successful, and I know you're not even on my list for prospect, but you have a lot of influence, and I want to show you this this thing that I put together. Could you help me out by letting me know if you know anyone that might be interested in it? And then you show them, and they're going to help you make connections. You're going to physically ask them for connections. And I have a referral program. So if somebody refers somebody to me, they're getting like a liner. If somebody joins with me because Bobby Joe, we literally do have a Bobby. I don't know why I keep using this random Bobby name. So let's say, you know, I feel like we have one of every name on the team now. So let's just say Bobby refers Vicky to me. Bobby gets a liner. Thanks, Bobby, for the team member. Thanks. I'm gonna help her achieve her goals now. I got this, okay? Your cold market. This is the good stuff, guys, the good stuff. I know this is where a lot of us are. A lot of us, especially those that have been in the business for a little bit, we're talking mainly to our cold market. So we want to be genuine. We want to be real, and we want to keep the mindset that this is a gift, and we want to educate people about it, okay? So typically in this business, you want to make sure you're building relationships, right? But when there comes times that you're doing an aggressive, active approach towards a goal, right, heads down, focused on a goal, it's okay to use different approaches. But I would not base my business on this all 365 days of the year, okay? I would just do this for my focused approach of sponsoring 20 and 30, or whatever your goal is in whatever period of time. So what you might want to say to someone in your cold market is, hey, I'm working on a project this month. I keep seeing your posts. Then you insert a compliment. You know, maybe something like, you know, you have such an exciting personality, or you have a lot of influence on social media, or you're really good at selfies. Like, just insert any compliment, right? And you say, I've got something and I have a wild idea that you would be a fit for what I'm doing. Would you be willing to? And then you say, jump on a video call, jump on a phone call, meet for coffee, whatever it is that you're scheduling, would you be willing to do that? You get your calendar out and you fill that full with these video calls you're about to do, with these in-person meets that you're about to have, with these phone calls that you're about to do, right? But outside of 20 and 30, outside of this of Operation Growth, make sure you're building relationships too. That way your cold market turns into your warm market, and really this is a relationship kind of business. But I know that sometimes you go through talking to everyone in your warm market and all you've got left is 2,000 people in your cold market. So sometimes it's okay to switch up your recruiting styles, okay? Face-to-face changes the game, okay? Here's what your goal should be, okay? 80 to 90 appointments, meaning video calls or in person. Now that's for my list of 300. So if you're doing a list of 100 to 150, if you're just kind of just dialing back a bit from Jen's crazy spending all month doing this approach, then you are going to want to have 40 appointments. Okay, that sounds like a lot. That's like a little bit more than one a day. But maybe you set aside certain days to do a couple each night, right? And it works. And what if you set aside a couple nights a week, right, to talk to 40 people this month? What if 10 of them join? What would that be for your business? That would be insane, right? That would be amazing. So just think about that. Okay, let's talk really quickly about, okay, now I'm like going to talk to these people, or, all right, I've been preaching to you guys. I've been saying, make sure you're getting them face-to-face. Make sure you're getting them on the phone. Make sure you're getting them in person. But what if that's just not realistic, okay? What if they just don't have time? What if you don't have time? What if you're already booked solid, but another person says, yeah, I want to hear about it? You need to have a tool ready, okay? What is that tool? Maybe the tool is, Jess, I'm getting to what to say. So on that video call or in your tool, your message is going to be the same. So I strongly suggest, and this is today's task through tomorrow night, is to make a video or an audio about as your presentation. Your presentation's your story, what the company is and what it's not, okay? So there's kind of a couple different approaches here. So you could get on a video call with someone, and the presentation you're giving them is your story, which we're going to break down here, so hold tight. And then they say, oh, that sounds awesome. Like, you know, you go to the next step, right? Now, you can send them, maybe you have a video that's spliced down to just have what we are and what we aren't. That's your tool that you give them, and then are they ready to go, right? Maybe you jump on the video call and they're so excited, and so you give them everything they want to know and all the questions are answered and they join, right? Maybe you can't jump on a video call, maybe you can't meet in person, and for some reason or another you just can't, okay? Then maybe what you do is you send them your full video that has your story and the information about the company. Or maybe you have two videos. You have your story, you have the information about the company, what it is and what it isn't, and the opportunity, like the details. There's kind of like those two things. They can be, you could put it together, you could separate it. It's up to you. Play around with it, see what works. I'm going to have both. I'm going to make a video that has both parts in it. I'm going to save that video to YouTube so I have the link handy. And then I'm going to split it up with a video editor so I have one of each handy as well, okay? That's what I'm going to do, because every interaction you have with different people, it's going to be a little different. But that's what makes it more successful. Okay, so here's what you need to do. The biggest part of your presentation needs to be that first part we just talked about, which is, oh, I think it was over here. I don't know which side it was on, but it needs to be your story. So there's 4 parts to your story. Part 1, get a piece of paper and a pen. Part 1 is your background. So, for example, I'm a mom that works a full-time job that is not super rewarding and there's not really much room for growth, okay? That's my background. And we are in a lot of debt from student loans and past things that that happened to us in life, okay? That's my background. Very short and simple, right? Then part 2 is what you don't like about that background. So like before you joined the opportunity, what didn't you like? So for me, I didn't like that I didn't have opportunity to grow in my full-time job, that I didn't have passion in it, that I lost passion in my full-time job, that I had limited earnings, limited potential for growth, and limited time with family, right? No recognition, things like that, right? Then C, you're going to talk about the solution you found in form of the opportunity. So that's easy. That's easy. I found the sisterhood of women that support me in my goals. I found passion in helping others. I make a paycheck that's amazing. As I've grown, that's grown, right? Like I have endless opportunities to grow. I don't have a ceiling on me. There's nothing that stops me and says you can't make more than what you make now. And so all those things that I didn't love before I joined are now solved by joining. So you want to tell this story, okay? And if you're struggling, like write these parts down before you start making your video. Because if you're struggling with finding out what those are, you need to dig deep and think of what your why is, and that's going to help you to find them. And then part 4 is, how do you feel about your future, okay? For me, I am freaking excited. I am pumped. I am out of this world pumped for the growth of my team, for helping other people, for the rewarding feeling that I get when I help people succeed, for the amazing feeling I get as I'm learning and I'm growing new things, okay? So that comes out. Imagine somebody telling you this story. You'd be a little intrigued, right? I mean, this is a true story. It's a true story. And I think something that I've struggled with recruiting in the past or sponsoring in the past is I always jumped right to, here's what unique is and here's what it's not, right? I didn't really share my story. And so when you're sharing your story, people relate more. You're more vulnerable, right? And people trust you more. So make sure you tell your story. Practice it a few times before you put it into a video or a SoundCloud. You can make brochures to hand out if you want, or mail out if you want. But here's the thing. You're going to want to tell your story over and over and over to anyone that'll listen to it, okay? So the next thing you want to do is, after you tell your story, do the thing, okay? Do the thing. So what does that mean? It's probably, for us, it means showing that video about what unique is and what it isn't. So remember how I said there's kind of 2 parts to this? There's the my story, and then there's what unique is and what it isn't. And then you can combine them together for people that you can't get in front of, but maybe you want to send your story first and maybe keep them separate. It's up to you. But once you tell your story, you want to send them the information, right? So they say, oh yeah, that sounds awesome. And you say, here, I'm going to send you the details on it. When you send your presentation that has the details on it, keep it under 3 minutes, okay? Keep it very short and simple. $99, you get over $360 in makeup. You never have to pay for anything ever again. You can get free and half off makeup. You can work from home. You don't have to do inventory. Did I say sell anything in? I meant buy. You know, you guys get it, right? And then you say, never any auto ships, never any fees, no penalties, blah, blah, blah. And then you say, you know, you close it out with hey, I just wanted to share this with you. I wanted to educate you. Now, hopefully you can make an educated decision for yourself. Keep doing that over and over again with everyone on your list, okay? Eric has stated that the more you tell your story, okay, guys, thank you so much for hanging tight with me. I know this is a longer video, so I do appreciate your time. We have 2 more quick things that I want to do that I want to touch on before we end this and open up for questions. But guys, this is huge. The closing, right? I cannot tell you throughout my career how many times people have said, listen, I get into these conversations with people and I just can't get them to make the leap. Ready? Golden. Ready? What you're going to do is you're going to follow up with questions to help them make their decision. So after you send them the second presentation, the presentation that has the information about the company, you're going to say, what did you like best? And they're going to say, well, I like that you get paid 3 hours after a sale. You're going to say, I know, right, girlfriend? All right, now I need to ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is no interest to 2, or to 10 is I need to start right now, where are you? And most people are going to give you something around a 7, right? And you're going to, that's good. Like anything over a 1 is good, okay? If they say 1, no interest, just cross them off. It's not for them right now. They might come back because they're watching now. Next thing you're going to ask is, hypothetically, if you were, and I'll type these up for you guys, okay? Hypothetically, if you were going to get started with this on a part-time basis, what income would you want to make for this to be worth your time? And they're going to say, let's say they say, I want to make $500 a month. And you say, okay, well, how many hours a week would you realistically commit to getting that $500 a month? And they'll say 5 hours a week, 10 hours, or sorry, what did I say? Did I say a week? Yeah, week, 5 hours a week. And you say, okay, so how many months would you be willing to work 5 hours a week to develop $500 in income? Sorry, I'm trying to remember the numbers I said. And they say, oh, about 6 months. Whatever they say, right? You're asking them questions. You're getting them to think. You're getting them to think about it, right? You're kind of manifesting it for them. And then the last question you ask is, if I could show you how to develop $500 in income working 5 hours a week over those 6 months, would you be ready to get started? And that's where they're probably, if they've thought about it and they're ready, they're going to say yes, and you send them that link and you get them up and going. Maybe they say they want to make $500 a month and you just aren't making that yet, right? That's okay. As long as someone in the company is making that, then you can help them do that too. You're not them, so you don't know what they're going to do. They might be your rock star. They might come on and do better than you and motivate you to do better, okay? So don't ever limit someone just because you're not making the amount that they say they want to make with it. Okay, so maybe they're not ready yet. Maybe they still have questions. They have objections. How do we overcome those? Well, there's 2 types of objections, really, that hold people back from taking that leap. One is a limiting belief in themselves. So we want to empower people to believe that they can do this, okay? And the other is a limiting belief in network marketing. Maybe they've gotten burned before by a different company. Maybe they know somebody that just didn't have a good experience. Maybe they just don't know about this better way, right? So how you're going to deal with either of those is the same. The first thing you're going to do is listen to what they're saying and absorb it. So they come to me and they say, listen, I just don't have the time. I thought about it, I just don't have the time. You're going to listen to that. You're going to absorb it, and then you're going to respond and say something like, listen, I had the same thought. You and I, we're the same. We're on the same page. I'm no better than you, you're no better than me, we both have the same thoughts. I thought I didn't have time for this either. But then you're going to tell them a story. So another way of putting this is feel, felt, found, right? I feel you, girl. I felt the same way. But I found that when I realized the potential of how much money I could make with this or how many lives I could change with this, I decided that I could probably rearrange a couple priorities, and I did. And now it's the best decision I've ever made. I don't regret it one bit. And I found time to work this into my life. So, like, see kind of what I did there? And then after you say something like that, after you use feel, felt, found, then you're going to ask them a question. Same question we just talked about. If I, would you? So if I would help you reprioritize some things in your life to find an extra couple hours a week to work your business, would you be prepared to take the leap? Okay? So that's kind of where we go. So that's where we're at, guys. Very, very simple. Get your list of people that you want to talk to. Get it organized. Set boundaries for the time period that you want to focus on this. Create your tools, your story, and the presentation about what the company is and isn't. And then start talking to people. Start telling your story to everyone that'll listen, using those different approaches for your hot market, your cold market, your warm market, okay? And once you tell your story and people want to know more, start sending them the presentation and follow up with those questions for the closing. Just broke it down, okay?